messages in my head. I don't know how to cope with this. I'm keeping secrets in my head, or any space you can find. Glad to see that I could help make your life a bit easier. But have you ever thought of how I felt? You need to think about your behavior.
Well, boys and girls, another week. Exciting weekend with all the goodies that's going on. But we'll get it going on Butch On Sports. Yes, this is Tuesday. I'm Simply Butch, and as always, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We'll try to have a party if we can. If we can. Yes, a lot of sports news to be had. Let's have at it here. First, the Detroit Tigers played the Cleveland Indians tonight, and they lost. They lost by a final score of 2-1 as Roberto Perez hit a leadoff home run in the 8th inning against reliever Alex Wilson, lifting the Cleveland Indians past the Detroit Tigers. Yes. Matthew Boyd pitched one heck of a game here. He allowed only one run in 7 innings for Detroit. He was pulled when Wilson came on in the 8th inning and quickly fell behind Perez. Perez early in the game made him in for a throwing error in the 7th inning. However, in the 8th inning when he got a bat, he bopped the ball out of the stadium. And there it is. The Detroit Tigers lose a close one to Cleveland Indians by a score of 2-1. Very surprising indeed. The Detroit Tigers, many feel that they're going to get their rear end whacked into a no-not-1. They are 4-6 right now in the early portion of season play, I should say, for baseball is concerned. Average temperature the Detroit Tigers have been playing in is about 37 degrees all the games so far. For exception for the Pittsburgh Pirates, they've been playing Central Division foes in their division. And I say they have done pretty well pitching as well as some other things here. They have kept games close. They are tug-of-war fighters in games that basically you think they would just lose by skin of a hair. But again, this is an early season, a young team indeed, some talented players indeed. And I think we might have a surprise at the end of the season when we find out how the Detroit Tigers fare with their new coach, Ron Gardenheimer. Giving them a hug when he needed and stern tearing their rear end when it's needed to be done as well. One of the things the Tigers have to work on is leaving men on base and knocking them in to score runs. Today they had 8 men on base. They out-hit the Cleveland Indians. Still, to lead them only to a defeat of 2-1. So, the beat goes on. They'll play another one tomorrow. And there it is. All in a nutshell. This is the big news today here. The federal prosecutors have filed additional court and count charges against former Adidas executive Jim Gatto in an ongoing college basketball fraud scandal that includes payments to families and guardians of current and former players of Kansas and North Carolina State. This is a big one, boys and girls, because we've been talking in the past how entities have been able to lure players from here, there, and everywhere who got the money. No players nor their families have been named specifically, and they're not going to name them yet because they don't want this particular thing to go out of the bag. So you better believe there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of families when they do name these particulars who have accepted money from Adidas and other conglomerates. When I say other conglomerates, it's going to probably be more that they find out that some of these players are going to these high-priced colleges, and maybe some of them going to some smaller colleges, are getting paid big, big money. And it starts off with the people who are doing the recruiting. Yes, the Attorney General's office in the Southern District of New York also doesn't name any college coaches either. The new information expands the scope of the charges wire fraud conspiracy, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Southern District of New York, the most significant development in the case since 10 men were arrested by the FBI in September 26 of 2017. Yeah. Candace, a part of the indictment, charged that Gatto and a coach of the Adidas-sponsored AAU team gave approximately at least $90,000 to a mother of a top high school player. The payments were made in connection of commitment by students' athletics to attend the University of Kansas. That's bad indeed. It's very bad. And sometimes you don't know what's going on with the family and some of the players as well, because, again, this starts off to be a game of fun, a game of skill, that maybe if a child or man or woman go to school and high school and do the very best they can be, they'll get a fair opportunity and a shot of going to a college, and they pick up the tab to get a good education and also play in a game that they love and enjoy. However, when money talks, with families sometimes that are, I would say, being nice about this particular situation, doesn't have maybe some of the means to fulfill their children like maybe some others who are fulfilled and don't have to worry about college in general. Maybe mom and dad has a great job and they just go out and have fun. Talking about the player there is, girl or boy. And if they don't get a scholarship, mom and dad can pay the cost. Or maybe that particular student is lucky enough to get win some type of scholarship award for the grades that they accumulated in high school. Maybe they get hooked up with maybe some superstar or something to be a mentor and get cash money or some kind of perks and rewards because of the good grades they received in high school in order to fulfill a dream to go to college. And yes, play some games that they do enjoy. Maybe making a team as a walk-on. Come on, boys and girls, ladies and gents. College sports has been a big conglomerate of the colleges getting rich and the athlete in the return get punched in the mouth. Some college players feel because of their jerseys is making millions of dollars sitting on maybe a hanger in a sports store. Many people wearing their jerseys and all. And a college athlete doesn't get one dime from that. Not a penny. It all goes to the college who sells the product, and nothing comes in return. Is it fair? Again, I don't like to use that word fair. Fairness comes in the tune and is very much so instilled in equality. There's no athlete has a say that their jersey gets sold and put on a hanger in a sports store to make money off their backs, and they don't get one dime of commission or amenities from that. And maybe that is wrong. But until that's fixed, that's the way it is. And you got to somewhat accept that particular plight. So I'm quite sure we're going to hear some more about the FBI raiding colleges and finding out players or companies or alumni. The list goes on and on and on, or improper scouts who know what their job is to hunt down these players, talk a good game to get that conversation going with those particular companies, who great well will have to talk to the parents, of course, and make a sweetheart deal with some of them. Now, with some ethics there, some parents are not going to go with that because at the long run, the parent will hurt the kid. So I guess my question is, what kind of penalty that the parents will accept to this money to sell off their child to that particular college? What's going to come out of that? Many questions to be answered. But again, this is just the beginning. No players, no coaches have been named. But we'll hear about it sooner than later. Jeff Blashill and the Detroit Red Wings today said goodbye to all the media people as they were packing their bags and getting all their goodies and stuff and going home to watch the playoffs on TV. However, yesterday, Jeff Blashill got a nice little surprise. The Sault Ste. Marie former resident, who recently completed his third season as a head coach with the Detroit Red Wings, will now be guiding the U.S. men's national team. Last year he had that distinction. He led them to a 6-0-0-0-2 record. He's been named the head coach for the 2018 United States men's national team, announced by United States Hockey. The squad will complete the upcoming International Hockey Federation Men's World Championship set for May the 4th through the 20th in Herning and Copenhagen, Denmark. Blashill has already picked his staff. He'll be joined by assistant coach Dan Blasmy of Grand Haven, Michigan, Don Granato, who's also from Illinois, and Seth Appler from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. They'll be the assistant coaches for Blashill in this upcoming event that happens about a month from now, or a little less with some change. Detroit Lions announced today that they have placed tackle Emmett Cleary on reserve retired. And if you didn't know, the Lions are going through conditioning and strengthening courses. That's one of the treats that they receive when they have a new coach, as the new rules of the NFL state that they can open their camps up or their doors up 10 to 7 days earlier to allow the new coaches to get acquainted with all the members of the team. The only ones that are not in there are draft choices, which the draft is upcoming. However, all the veterans and people that have signed free agency or whatnot are able to come in, use the equipment to get in shape, and gives a great opportunity for the head coach to get familiar with those particular players and let them know what's going to be jumping off for the upcoming season. Have you filled out your bracket yet? Yes, we know that's a phrase that we use in college hockey, not maybe hockey, but basketball. But do you know the Stanley Cup is upcoming, starting tomorrow, Wednesday? And yes, you can fill out a bracket, fill in your teams, and watch your bracket grow and grow and grow. And some of you get knocked out, get the slop knocked out of you, because another fun time in filling your brackets is upcoming. And I'm quite sure maybe the NBA will have one too, a filling in the bracket. So you're picking to be the Stanley Cup champion. Stanley Cup happens tomorrow. By the way, Detroit Pistons, last game of the season, Chicago, you ain't see the Chicago Blackhawks because we were talking about hockey. Chicago Bulls. And their season will be over, and then we'll go through the medicine of finding out what's going to happen, if not happen, with Stan Van Gundy. That'll be a conversation later on in the week. Yes, we will. Finally, boys and girls, WrestleMania was happening this week, or this weekend, this past weekend past. And you got to start off with the Hall of Fame ceremony on Friday. Thursday, they have a lot of signings and meeting the stars of the WWE. If you ever been to one of these particulars, that's how it goes. You normally a Thursday, you meet the stars, and they make all kind of appearances at a little fair through that you go and play some games and interactive stuff. And again, get autographs and might be lucky to get a picture with them, or a kiss, or a hug, or all the above. I don't know. I've been to one, and it was fun. A lot of changes in in this particular, because after WrestleMania, which was pretty doggone good, I rated a B-. Some of the results were not called, but they happened anyway. I think the best match was the Charlotte Flair Oscar match. To me, that was the best match. And also the beginning match of Seth Rollins and company, the leadoff match, that was very good indeed as well here. Also, the 205 Live pregame match for that championship. That was a pretty good match too. That was a free one, they say here, that they showed on national television on the USA Network, along with the men's and the women's battle royals for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and the women's battle royal there, first one. And then all the changes were on Raw. As you see people come and go, you'll see that next week, 2 days of it. Paige retires. You saw Lashley come on in there. Samoa Joe make his appearance back. A lot of surprises on Raw, and I enjoyed it tremendously here. And some on SmackDown, as Paige, who gave her ceremonial speech on Monday night that she retired because of neck injuries and whatnot here, got lit up like a Christmas tree on Tuesday because she is now the general manager on SmackDown, as Daniel Bryan had to resign that because he wants to be a full-time wrestler, which, again, we knew about that like 2 weeks ago, that somewhere down the line that will be changing. And you got to give it to Vince McMahon and crew and staff for keeping everything a good secret. Starting off with Sunday with The Undertaker coming out there. And other surprises as well. Again, B- for WrestleMania this year. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it tremendously. And I hope you did too. You get to see it, but you pay the $9.99 plus tax. and get the WWE Network and watch WrestleMania in its entirety on demand, and see some of the other events that are upcoming, like the Saudi Arabia 50-man battle royal, and Backlash is coming up on the 6th of May. I'm just abbreviating the bad boy here. But what do we know, huh? What do we know? I'm done with this edition of Butch On Sports. I have to tell you, it's been nice. Butch On Sports won't be on the air tomorrow night on Wednesday, but I'm quite sure you can go to Scott's Sports Show on Podbean and catch on Mr. Electric Avenue, Dave McKay. You can catch up with his show. No, it's not from the Golden Onion. I think it's Sports Center Lounge there. And also from Boston Pizza as well, on, I think, Thursday night as well. 2 back-to-backers. Of course, you can check those on Monday night. Things are not out of order here. We'll be on Tuesday. But it'll happen. And of course, Butch On Sports, you can always catch me on Facebook, Boys and Girls, for free. Go to Butch On Sports on Facebook. Woohoo! And check out the podcast version of this as well. You can go to Podomatic.com. Type in SIMPLYBUTCHTOO.Podomatic.com. Also catch it on iTunes. And again, Podbean, where Scott Mason, host extraordinaire, puts all our shows on his website there. That it's growing by the thousands. And I thank you guys for your support on listening to the show. Hey, I'm done. Thursday we'll do it again, boys and girls, with some up-to-date stuff. And we'll talk about the Pistons in depth as their NBA season is over. I'm done. I'm messing it up. Bye.